so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to remind myself of a time when in spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property, remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I
tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme, it was played into time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on, but you didn't even know. Wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all
Hi, it's Jason Olborn here. I'm the host of World Series News and a presenter on TNT Radio. Well, recently I had the privilege of interviewing Bruce Snyder, and somehow we've managed to hit it off and decided to join forces and create a whole new concept for you watching on Mindfix TV and World Series News. I look forward to joining you real soon with a brand new way to look at the news.
Check 1 2 1 2. Good evening, folks. Test. Okay. All right. Let's do our typical audio check. See who's in the house here. Let me go over to your comments real quick. Hello, everybody. How are you? All right. Hey, Renee, how are you? Good to see you. All right. Rachel, how are you? All right. Good evening, Debbie. Florida is in the house. Oh, what a busy day for me today. I'll tell you that. Hey, Josh, George is in the house. Yes, we are winning. Anna, Utah's in the house. Oh, look at this. My Aussie friends, Australia is in the house. Beautiful. Augusta, I got to get to the Masters on one Sunday. One Sunday, I got to get to the Masters. Tennessee in the house. Hey, Debbie. All right. Driving so I can only listen. Oh, that's good. I hope you're not watching and driving. We don't want that. No. I'm not that important. Florida. Hey, friend. Hey, Wanda. How are you? From Texas. Okay. Hello, everyone. Adriana's here. Good. Just remember, if you're watching on Rumble, usually later on in the show, you get attacked in there by a bunch of spammers. Just ignore them. All right. Hey, Susan, how are you? North Carolina's in the house. Colorado. Jeremiah is in the house. What's up, brother? How are you? Hey, Don. I love you too. Illinois is in the house. Lots of Texas and Florida. Oh, look at this. Wonderful. Great to see you too. I finally made it live. Again with Australia. Love it. So with Australia, wow, what did you guys did you guys see my interview with Jason Alborn in Australia on TNT Radio? You saw at the beginning of this program that little video clip, which I put out already, of Jason. And of course, the news is, as I said last time, we are going to be collaborating, if you will. Jason's going to be doing some solo things as well, but we're going to complement one another with both of our platforms. I'm very excited to have him on board. And tomorrow night we actually have a meeting, and then we're going to tomorrow night after our meeting, we're going to pencil in our first show. And then I will announce that this weekend, and that'll be coming up in just probably a few days. So looking forward to that. All right. Missouri. All right. Lots of comments going already. Good stuff. I think I'm on Rumble. I believe I'm on YouTube and Facebook right now. And I know you guys love Facebook. That's for sure. Watch Brewster take a shower. Guess I could smell like. You are funny. I love a sense of humor. I'll tell you that. Virginia here. Donna says my husband's a big fan now too. Oh boy, the pressure that's put on me. I'll tell you. It's very strange for me to get that word fan. I don't get it. I'll never get comfortable with that. There we go. YouTube's on the house, on the house. Jersey, nice. Mom needs a beach house. I love your handle there. The dude needs a beach house too. What is going on in these comments, Jeremiah? I think you have a reply. Okay, that's enough. Tony says crazy last few days. Okay. So again, you guys are funny. Pennsylvania, just getting underway. We take like the first, 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes. I don't know. We wait for people to trickle in. I realize that a lot of people, this is the East Coast right now, so it's already just a few minutes after 8 p.m. So those of you who are, west, going central and Pacific and all that, mountain time. So it's quite early for you still. And I get that a lot of you watch the replays, which is fine. So I know Donald Trump was on. I will, after the show's over, I will go ahead and get those clips up for you as well. So first of all, before we get the show started, hey, Mary, how are you? Long Island in the house. Did I see Joe crap his pants today? Yeah, it's all over my Facebook page. That's for sure. I think he did, as a matter of fact. What an embarrassment this is, big embarrassment. So, okay. Yes, it's 10. You guys are awesome. 10 a.m. Australia time. So, that's the cool thing about when I'm going to be working with Jason here. Now we're going to do pre-recorded shows. We're going to do some lives as well. So, but we have to, there's a 14-hour difference. So there's a good chance that he'll be coming on in the morning and from Australia. And of course, I'll be here in the evening. I don't mind doing some morning shows, as a matter of fact. So when I speak to Jason, if he wants to come on live from Australia in the evening, I'll come on in the morning. Would you guys like to have coffee with me by having a podcast? I think we could try that once. I have never done a morning show. Maybe that's something we can start doing. I think. I know there's, because you see, the mornings I'm pretty darn busy because that's when I want to get the breaking news. That's when I want to get the biggest headlines from the news. So I am busy, but I don't mind, maybe for an hour and not like a 2-hour show. So I think that's something we could do. Yeah, I would love to have a coffee cast. There you go. See, that's something that transpired today. So that'd be pretty cool. So maybe we could do that. So coffee, we'll call it Coffee with the Dude. How about that? Yeah, believe it or not, I never was a morning person, but I am a morning person. So, yeah, so, Java time. We'll come up with a name. How about that? Great. Now I got to wake up early. Well, that's pretty cool. I'll see if Jason wants to do one. We can sneak a few in here and there. And, we could have him coming live from Australia. And he's going to bring a lot to the table because, listen, I've got people from Australia in the comments. And some people ask me, well, what's he going to bring from Australia? But people all around the world are going through the same thing. But here's the thing. All eyes are on America right now because they know if this country falls, it's over for the rest of the world. So, hence tonight's show, The Takeover of America. So, what I decided to do was not load that much up. Okay, so I don't have much when it comes. I got a couple things we're gonna feed off of, but I don't have that much because mostly everything that I have, I've already posted on social media. So I decided this evening that I got a couple notes for the first time. I do have notes since I don't have much loaded up. And I think that I love doing a live show. I really only do live shows. Okay. I love doing it because I'm on the spot. I'm on the hot seat right now. Okay. Let me get rid of that. And correct. I'm on the hot seat right now. And I have to, if I screw up, I do it in front of all of you. I'm not reading a teleprompter. I have a couple notes or just some footnotes, what I want to talk about. But at the same time, it's important for me to portray, I guess, the knowledge that I have, if you will. I realize that I have a following for a reason. People come here, and I want to talk about that. And as we get into this, I am going to play a clip. Many of you have seen this clip. Maybe some of you are not, and it'll blow your mind. But if you have never seen this clip, it's a treat for you. I hope I can play this clip and get away with it. Here's a warning. It should be able to play. I'm going to talk over it so I don't get copyrighted and be taken down in the middle of a Facebook live stream. But we'll play that in a few minutes here. But like I was saying, I like to do everything off the cuff. I love off the cuff. I do much better off the cuff than being, having everything programmed, if you will. So tonight's show, like I said, is called The Takeover of America. I'm going to give the way I'm going to walk down this right now, because I'm about to answer some questions. I get asked all the time, probably every day. I ignore, I I don't ignore them. I don't see them most of the time. I see them hours later or the next day when I happen to be have time to go through some comments or something. And I did post earlier today that I don't have the opportunity. I don't live on Facebook, okay? I have many platforms, and there's a lot going on behind here. So I had a couple of people who got a little short with me. That's what made me make a post earlier today about I don't have time to answer every question. Even when you tag me, I don't read my notifications ever on Facebook. Okay. So if you tag me, I'm never going to see it. The only way I'm going to see it is if I stumble upon it, per se. There was a few times when I do go to hit my notifications to clear it. I might see something that'll pop up and I'll get lucky and it says you're tagged in this, and I may hit that and it's on somebody else's page, but it's pretty rare. It's not that it has nothing to do with me or an ego or anything like that. I'm just extremely busy. I love to interact. You see me in the comments, and I've always made it an attempt to make sure that I'm in the comments, because this community, especially if you're watching on Facebook, the community on Facebook has grown over the years to where it's become a really tight-knit community. And that's the word I used earlier today. It's very special, and I'm very honored to be a part of that. So I realize on a daily basis, just because it's my Facebook page, when I go on it, it's you guys who have the community, the camaraderie, and you've made this what it is. I just happen to keep putting the gas in the tank. You guys are steering the car there pretty much. So, and again, I can't answer all those questions all the time. So please, I beg you not to be short with me or give me a hard time or rip on me. It's just that I don't see every comment, maybe 10% of them. So that's out of the way. So with that, again, the takeover of America. So you might be tuning in tonight and you're going to say, what is he going to tell us? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I can tell you before this show goes any further. I will only give you my educated guess. And I say that as a guess. There is not one podcaster out here, that any podcaster or whatever you want to call them, the truthers that you follow, that has the answers. Nobody does. Okay. If they say they do, my advice has always been run away, because they're full of it. I don't have the answers at all. You're not going to get certain answers this evening, but you're going to get a nice painting, if you will. And at the same time, doing these lives are very important, because you are in the comment section right now, and you help me, and I love to hear your feedback. It's so important that I hear your feedback, and everybody else needs to hear from you. Okay, so that's what it is right now. Here's what I'll say. All right, so let's get this underway. And again, your comments are going. We'll get to your comments shortly, as I want to bounce back and forth and interact with you. Well, maybe if I pose a question along the way. All right. So what I'd like to do is, I'll tell you what I'll do. Okay. I'll do it this way. Again, doing this live off the cuff, and I like doing it that way. So people ask me questions all the time. Is Donald Trump the commander-in-chief? What do I think about, I got to use a name. What do I think about Derek Johnson? I get that question often. Okay. Is Donald Trump in control? What about the White Hats? What about the EOs? And I know that Derek breaks them down. I get that. There are things going on right now that are leaning towards some, I'll say some, of Derek's takes being credible, if you will. I have to say I'm no expert. I spend no time on other people. It's very rare that I do. I don't know enough about him, but the little bit I've seen, okay, and this show is not about him, okay? This show is about, right now, before we get into the Takeover America, this is about you asking me these questions. Why am I talking about this? this is why. Because if I go back to the beginning, okay, in the very beginning, all right, if you go back to the lockdown, because I know that was the meat and potatoes of the time to go down the rabbit hole. Everybody did. They were locked in their homes. You guys discovered the fall of the cabal. You discovered the rabbit hole when it came to C19. You discovered the rabbit hole on trafficking, all of that. Okay. I am well aware of that. Okay. I don't know what this means. Say which comments he's looking at. I see them all. I see every comment. Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. I get access to everyone on one timeline right now. So wherever you're commenting from, doesn't matter. I see it. Okay. In the beginning, all right. In the beginning, God created. No. I would like to talk about Q for a minute. All right. I'm only going to talk about my perspective as well. When it came onto the scene, I know the history now. I know about the 4chan start, etc. I know all that. I have followed Q since the very beginning. Okay. Later on, which is later on as in now, I have said many times that I don't want to be my history, my legacy, if you will. I don't want to be tied to Q. I've said that publicly and I'll say it again because I know that's coming to an end. Okay. That is coming to an end to where my focus is on the after. I realize the clock is about to run out, hence the Takeover of America, the show tonight. The clock is about to run out, and the future, in my opinion, one of the most important things that we need is the birth of independent news, podcasters, and people who you've come to rely on, who deem themselves as credible, which is very important for me, which ties into the Q thing, because in the beginning, I'm a person who did post a lot, okay, and then I decided to back away because I realized what was happening in the I realized what was happening in the public, the patriot movement, and in the actual mainstream media when it came to CNN, HBO, Vice. Okay. So I saw what was happening. And what was happening is that the predictions, if you will, okay, first of all, people need to know that Q is completely misrepresented and misunderstood. All right. The mainstream media butchers the daylights out of it, and they say things that are not even true. All right. It was good in the very beginning, and then it became kind of mainstream, and everybody jumped on board. It's kind of, I've always described it as this. It was, I'm an 80s guy, and I remember having my favorite rock metal band, and they were underground garage, and it was really cool, and it was really special. And then all of a sudden they went mainstream, and then everybody was on board. It was like, oh man. Does that make any sense to you? And that's kind of what it was with the Q situation. Recently on my interview with Jason, he had asked me about Q, and I said, and I'll say it again, I says it's great for information. There are many coincidences, okay? But at the same time, it is a psyop. No question about it, because I do realize, I know the information on Q is provided for the public, but at the same time, the enemy's watching. It has come to a point now to where things are different as of today being June 6th, 2024. Because what I see that is happening is that we're seeing a lot more matches just for me. And this is why I don't put a lot out, because I use them for myself. So I have an idea and a direction. I pay very close attention. I always have to Dan Scavino. All right. Obviously, we pay attention to Donald Trump, what he says, misspellings, and timestamps. All right. I don't know what this means. Why did somebody just ask me in my comments? Where'd you go? I would assume I'm still on the air. Is that what you mean? Hold on, give me a second, guys. Let me make sure these live broadcast. No, I'm still on the air. I see that. Okay, so Q is a positive psyop to wake the people up to the truth. Psyops don't have to be a negative. Read the definition. Oh, I agree. Psyops don't have to be negative at all. That's 100% true. Okay. Along the way, all right. Along the way, there have been people who I've seen a great division happen over time. Now, I think there are people that are in the movement. I don't even know what that means. I still don't know how to define that. That have ruined it for themselves. Okay, they've absolutely ruined it for themselves. To when they in the beginning they latched onto these predictions. It's okay at being wrong. We're never always right. I get that, but at the same time, people latched on to these predictions. They kept shoving them down your throat. And I've always talked about this. I said, like, the people who came on and said, whether they were Q or not, the election is going to get overturned. And then it got so crazy that the outside comms got so ridiculous that anybody and everybody was giving a comm because they're Q and a timestamp. And that's just, it turned me off so much. I'm like, I want no part of that because I know that's not the case. But realistically, there are no outside comms, if you will. For those of you who are tuning in, you're wondering, well, I don't know anything about Q, etc. So if I had to kind of sum it up for you, all it is a the easiest way for me to say it, it's a communication board over the years that I believe is probably going to come back very soon. The Q board has been dormant since I think 2022, I do believe. In fact, I have it up here. Okay, so let me share this with you right now. All right. So that's the board right there. Oh, I forgot to give myself a background because there we go. It's too boring. All right. So yeah, it looks like it was 2022. I have something pulled up on purpose. Okay, because it goes with tonight's show. But I can go back and do this. So there we go. Right there, 4966, November 27, 2022 at 8:06 p.m. It was what is coded in your DNA. That was the last time that we've heard from the board. And the drop before that on the same day, same time, pretty much 5 minutes apart. 4965 says someone's asking Q&A with a question mark, and Q says in time. So there it is right there. In time, there will be a Q&A for sure. It looks like it will be that way. I think these things will unfold. I don't know, put it this way, I don't know when these things will unfold, but I think there's going to be a return of that. Mainstream media is going to lose their minds, if you will. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me take that off the board right there. So, all right. So the reason I wanted to talk about that is because I want to talk about credibility and truth per se. Again, like I've said, you guys know perfectly well that I'm all about the facts, the truth, debunking things. As a matter of fact, I may be a person who likes to debunk everything. I don't even like to share views with people who say, well, I heard this and this and this and that. I don't like that. I like debunking things. And to be honest with you, a real good reporter would try and do that at least 3 times. You want to try and debunk a story or a claim or whatever it is. And if you can't, then you're onto something. Okay, you're definitely onto something. So that's how I do my daily work. I'm like, I got to try and, debunk this here. Is this true? I mean, there are certain things, are obviously true right from the rip, but I'm talking about deeper things, stories, rumors, whatever it may be. So in the beginning, like I said, I would post quite a bit, and the whole world was pretty much ready for all these things to happen over time. And here we are now. People they gave up hope. They kept hearing things, and when you over and over again, and there's a good and a bad side to it. When you keep hearing nothing can stop what is coming, those type of things over and over again, people they just have given up. The number of messages and communications I've had with people who just completely gave up on it, I understand, and rightfully so. All right, rightfully so. I think that the time that we're in now is the time that I know that I'm very excited. You're tuning into a show called The Takeover of America, but I can tell you right now, I am extremely excited what is going on in the world stage right now. I have absolute zero fear. Just because some of my posts come across with bad news, okay, and it is rightfully so, etc. It doesn't mean that I'm falling into that trap of being of fear and worry. I have none of that at all. Again, people have asked me along the way. I started talking about, like, asking me things, is Donald Trump the commander-in-chief? I've given my take on that. Okay. Right now, I personally have said that it had to be this way. Q said that. And I believe that the 2020 election was taken. And we're on Facebook. That's why it was taken away. I don't have 100% answer. I know a lot of people would love for me to say, yes, Donald Trump is commander-in-chief. And with me being honest, I just don't know. Okay. My gut feeling tells me no, not at all. What you're seeing on the world stage right now is real. Okay. I know a lot of you right now, you're upset and you disagree with me. I know that. Okay. I know that I have people in my comment sections that will never say good morning to me. They will never say anything nice to me. They won't interact in any other way, but the only things they'll post is enjoy the movie. This is a movie. The mask, who's this masked person? I'm not in that category at all. As a matter of fact, I don't believe it is a movie. If anybody believes it's a movie right now, per se. Now, there are controlled operations, which you may use that as a way of saying this is a movie. But there is no way on earth that we can coordinate everything in the world as a movie just for us. Why are we so special? You're witnessing real life. What you're really seeing, all right, is a real war going on. Yes, I believe there is an operation. There are white hats. You have grown weary of that. You have given up hope. I understand. I've been there myself. Correct. Movie is a metaphor. That's fair enough. Movie is a metaphor. All right. Excuse me for a moment. So we're witnessing a real war, folks. And I know this is my opinion. And again, I know a lot of you don't want to hear that part of it. I know there's a group out there. I realize that, of people who are dead set on sitting at home drinking on their Chardonnay and saying, oh, it's just a movie. We are at war with the deep state. You're witnessing in it. You're witnessing the art of war. You are witnessing Donald Trump and company allowing the enemy to destroy themselves without interfering. That is what part of the movie that you are witnessing. There's reality. People are dying. Why would people's death be a part of a movie? That makes no sense to me. Is it a sacrifice that they were willing to take? I know the stories about 9/11 and the generals, the 6 generals after 9/11, I believe it was 6, who came together and never wanted that to happen again. Hence the birth of Q, Donald Trump running for president, etc. We all know that story. So here's what I think is going on as far as the takeover of America. Is there a takeover of America? Absolutely, 100%, without a doubt. What you're seeing is real. All of us are feeling it. We're feeling it in so many ways. Economically, we all feel it that way. We feel it. I felt it by the loss of people in my life who've been directly affected, whether it was COVID or fentanyl. There are many things I have not talked about or made public about certain family members or cousins or things like that who have passed away along the way. Life does happen too. People they do die of natural causes, diseases, etc. But some of these folks that were friends or family of mine have died as a direct result of COVID and and when I say COVID, maybe the shot. Okay, I don't want to get into all that right now. Or fentanyl as well. The open border. I think the fentanyl crisis is the most alarming thing right now. I think that's part of the takeover of America. I really, truly do. Okay. I do know that a lot of you are labeled crazy. See, those things I don't care about for me personally because I've got no one to impress. And I don't care what other people think. I'm at a point in time in my life. And that's not an attitude. That is just a very good place for me to be. It's very freeing. So I know that you guys have family who think you're nuts. Okay. You talk about these things. You talk about the craziness going on in the world. And let me tell you something, the craziness going on in the world, the takeover of America right now is real. It is a reality. The people who are in denial that you are having a difficult time with, whether being under the same roof that you live in, whether it's a family member, a spouse, a child, sibling, or coworkers, whatever it is. I realize that they're labeling you as crazy. Look, okay, we are at a point in time now where that is going to go away. As a matter of fact, we're getting so close to it right now that they're going to be turning to you at some point. I don't know at what point. Everybody has a different point. I don't know what it will be for them, but they're going to turn to you, or it's going to take them a while to do that. Some of them will, some of them won't. Some of them will ride this train all the way into hell if they have to without admitting they were wrong. But I get that too. What you're seeing on the world stage right now and talking about Q and everything that I've been talking about, I don't want to seem too scrambled. I know I can sometimes get all over the place. I'm trying to stay very focused, unlike Joe Biden. And if you haven't seen Joe Biden today, go to my pages and look at any one of my social media pages and watch those clips from this morning. Embarrassing, very embarrassing. So with that being said, I can give a lot of predictions, but I'm just going to stick with what I believe is most important. Okay. So before I get into all that, I'm going to play a clip. All right. So we're going to play it together. I'll keep myself on the screen. There we go. Go back to your comments. We wear that badge proudly. It's, you know what? As you should embrace it. All right. Even if you're one of those people who've been a conspiracy theorist, okay, a conspiracy theorist for many, many years, perhaps decades. We are at a different time now. I truly believe that we are in the Great Awakening. Everything that you've witnessed this week alone, look at Donald Trump. He's been convicted. All right. And I'm not laughing at it. I'm laughing in amazement. All right. He's been convicted. Alex Jones, they're trying to shut him down in InfoWars. Today, Steve Bannon has been ordered to prison. If you don't know that yet, Steve Bannon is going to prison on July 1st, and he's going to fight it, I know, for 4 months. So he's going to the joint and trying probably to also shut down War Room. They want to have a complete blackout right now, and they're going to start with the big dogs, okay, the big reaches. And it's going to trickle down into people like me. I get that. Nothing new for me. I understand that all the time. By the way, I do have a backup Facebook page. It is not made public, but it's there. And if I go down, it's ready to go. You guys will know. All you got to do is follow that link tree, and any one of my social media platforms, you'll know it. So if I ever go missing, I'm ready to go with a backup, and it's still there. So here's what I like to do. Again, we're talking about anything can happen. All right. So when it comes to predictions, the takeover of America is obvious right now. You see what is happening on the world stage. I will give you my take on what I see is the combination of events that is really happening and is going to happen very fast here. This is not something that's going to happen next year. There is no next year. This is it. We are, as a matter of fact, remember the 5th of November. So we were one day past. Yesterday was 5 months to the day. So we are 5 months away from the next presidential election, the most important presidential election in American history. So what will happen? I've come on here to predict, to say anything can happen. We don't know what they're going to do. Let's take a look at this right now. I know many of you have seen it. Let's watch it together. Again, the first minute and a half, okay, we're going to talk about aliens. I get that. What are you talking about aliens for? I'm going to play the famous X-Files clip. It's called The Takeover of America, hence why the show is called The Takeover of America tonight. If you have not seen this, I suggest that you sit back, enjoy. This was back in 2016. I don't know what episode. I don't have that information in front of me right now. You guys can Google all that later. It's the X-Files episode from 2016 called The Takeover of America. So you want to find it, you can do that after the podcast, I guess. So here we go. All right. So keep in mind that I believe before I play this, I want you to think about, even if you've seen this, I want you to think about this clip and where we are at this moment today, this moment in time right now. And think about how eerie this clip is of their prediction and where we are now. So let's do it. Let's watch it together. Again, the first minute and a half before he gets into discussing the takeover of America is about aliens. And we've all talked about Project Bluebeam. Anything can happen. And another note on Q, we are told about a sky event. I don't believe the sky event has happened. I thought there was a possibility, but I don't believe it has happened. Here's the two things I don't believe it has happened yet. I don't believe the sky event has happened, and I do not believe the shot heard around the world has happened yet. Okay? So here we go. Let's watch this. The X-Files, The Takeover of America. I'm going to pause a couple times for copyright purposes because we're on a live stream.
The tentacles reach far back into the last century. But it wasn't until victories in Europe and Japan and the onset of the Cold War that political and economic conditions became perfect for actual execution. A conspiracy bigger and more secret than the Manhattan Project.
More odious and far-reaching.
No sooner had we defeated Germany than a new threat started appearing in skies over America. Drawn to Earth by the latest threat to extinction, the H-bomb. Explosions acting as transducers, drawing alien life forms through wormholes in spaceships using electrogravitic propulsion. Advanced extraterrestrial species visiting us, concern for mankind and the threat of our self-destruction, forestalling our annihilation through their own self-sacrifice, and crashes at Roswell, more importantly, places like Aztec. World leaders signed secret memos directing scientific studies of alien technology and biochemistry. Classified studies were done at military installations S4, Groom Lake, Wright-Patterson, and Dulce. Extracting alien tissue. Tests were done on unsuspecting human subjects. And elaborately staged abductions in craft using alien technology recovered from the down saucers.
Okay, so hold on.
Including human hybridization through gene editing and forced implantation of alien embryos.
Okay, so I'm going to pause right there for a moment, okay? If you don't know, I haven't posted any of the clips yet, but just like, I don't know, 48, 72 hours ago, maybe 48 hours ago, Tucker sat down and did a podcast. I forgot the gentleman's name. I think he's a veteran. And they just had a whole segment where they discussed exactly what you're hearing right now. I'm just saying, you got to remember, you got to think about the biggest names in the world who have the biggest reach in the world right now. That there is a asset, if you will. This is why they're going after Bannon, Alex Jones. That's why Tucker was fired, etc. But you pay attention to what people are talking about. I know we're talking about aliens right now. They could do something like that. We have many scenarios that the deep state can do to cause chaos. And many things like heck, martial law, for all we know. All right, the COVID was a practice round for people to comply and get in line and do what we say. Let's keep going.
Why do such a thing and lie about it? Our own government.
Your own government lies as a matter of course, as a matter of policy. The Tuskegee experiments on black men in the 30s, Henrietta Lacks.
What are they trying to do?
That's the missing piece.
But it's not hard to imagine. A government hiding, hoarding alien technology for 70 years at the expense of human life and the future of the planet. Driven not only by corporate greed, but a darker objective.
The takeover of America.
And then the world itself, by any means necessary, however violent, or cruel, or efficient. By severe drought, brought on by weather wars, conducted secretly using aerial contaminants and high-altitude electromagnetic waves. In a state of perpetual war. To create problem, reaction, solution scenarios to distract, enrage, and enslave American citizens at home. With tools like the Patriot Act and the National Defense Authorization Act, which abridge the Constitution in the name of national security. The militarization of police forces in cities across the U.S., the building of prison camps by the Federal Emergency Management Agency with no stated purpose. The corporate takeover of food and agriculture, pharmaceuticals and healthcare, even the military in clandestine agendas to fatten, dull, sicken, and control a populace already consumed by consumerism.
And I encourage you all to go shopping more.
A government that taps your phone, collects your data, and monitors your whereabouts with impunity. A government preparing to use that data against you when it strikes. And the final takeover begins.
The takeover of America.
By a well-oiled and well-armed multinational group of elites that will cull, kill, and subjugate.
Happening as we sit here.
It's happening all around us.
The other shoe waiting to drop.
It'll probably start on a Friday. The banks will announce a security action necessitating their computers to go offline all weekend.
Digital money will disappear.
They can just steal your money?
Followed by the detonation of strategic electromagnetic pulse bombs to knock out major grids.
What will seem like an attack on America by terrorists or Russia.
Or a simulated alien invasion using alien replica vehicles that exist and are already in use.
What will seem like a terrorist attack on America simulated by a foreign enemy or Russia. Amazing that they're saying that right then and there. And this is everything that is going on in this world right now.
Use.
An alien invasion of the U.S.
The Russians tried it in '47.
You can't say these things.
I'm going to say them tomorrow.
It's fear-mongering, claptrap isolationist techno-paranoia, so bogus and dangerous and stupid that it borders on treason. Saying these things would be incredibly irresponsible.
It's irresponsible not to say it.
Especially if it's the truth.
It's irresponsible not to say it. And here we are right now talking about these exact same things. Now, again, just, I'm not going to get into the whole alien thing because I don't want to drift away from the real subject at hand here. All right. Sure, that can happen. I get that. Anything can happen. But at the same time, we have to look at the world stage. There's another video I want to upload right now. Hold on one second. Let me grab it. There we go. So he says something in that clip there. He says it'll probably start on a Friday. All right. The banks will make an announcement. The banks will go down, etc. So did you see this clip that I put up about 2 days ago? I think it was a couple days ago. If you don't know, June 9th, in 3 days, we have 2 days left. In 3 days, it's the end of the pact with Saudi Arabia and our oil agreement that we've had since, I believe it was June 8th, 1973, if I'm not mistaken. All right. It is, matter of fact, I have it on the banner here. De-dollarization begins with Saudi Arabia not renewing the 50-year petrodollar pact, which is due to expire on June 9, 2024, which is this Sunday. There's a clip here. I'll play it real quick. I'll keep that on there. And if you haven't heard this, or if you have heard it, it's very short. Let's listen again.
Hey, Mel. I know you're super busy with everything that you're doing in your life, but I have a piece of intel I wanted to share with you, because I know you have a great reach of people, and being the legend that you are, you can get this information out there. There are a lot of folks talking about a black swan event, something that nobody sees coming. And what's interesting is that this thing is that I'm going to share with you, this piece of intel, is huge, and no one, and I mean no one, is talking about this. Back in 1957, the United States and the Federal Reserve approached Saudi Arabia and offered military support, protection, as well as weaponry if they would use the United States dollar for all sales of Saudi oil. This, of course, expanded and gave the USD great privilege and clout, okay, and even more dominance. Well, June 9th, just a few weeks from now, 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks from now, that contract expires. It was for 70 years. It's over.
It was 50.
Okay, 70-something years, whatever it was. It comes to an end, and Saudi Arabia, the prince, has already notified everyone that it will not be renewed. So they will no longer be selling oil with USD or even accepting USD. So that's a really, really big deal, because that's the only thing propping up the dollar, is the fact that it's still connected to Saudi oil. But that comes to an end on June 9th. And that's all I know. I'm not an expert on it, but that's a piece of intel that I was given today. So, you do whatever you want to do with that, okay?
So that particular clip was obviously a couple of weeks ago. I do believe, I forget the gentleman's name, it escapes me, but I think he was on the Mel K show or something. That's why I said, hey, Mel. So, again, remember this photo, okay? Right there. When I watched that particular day, when I saw Biden and his team show up in Saudi Arabia, and I saw the crown prince do this, didn't shake his hand, only fist bumped him. I knew that was a big moment right then and there. That was a huge day for me personally. Let me go back here. Sorry about that. That was a huge day for me personally. And let me go back to your comments, to see that happen. And if you remember correctly, it was that day. I think it was the next day. I think it actually happened. If my memory serves me correctly, it was a Sunday too, if I'm not mistaken. But Biden and all his cronies were there, and they were sitting in their chambers, whatever it was, their parliament. I forgot what it's called there in Saudi Arabia, their capital, if you will. And that's when they embarrassed the Biden administration on the world stage, and they did not make an agreement with them regarding oil and all that. And they absolutely embarrassed them. And I knew right then and there that the crown prince knew that we were all watching, the world was watching. And that was symbolism right then and there. So this happens, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, this happens this Sunday, that this stops. All right. We are watching an alliance happen in this world with BRICS. And you're looking at China, Saudi Arabia, India, Russia, and it's growing, and it's growing, and it's growing. Now, if I show you, let me go here. Take that down. All right. Back to these. This was earlier today. Russia is now the 4th largest economy in the world. You can see right there. China, the US, India, and Russia. Followed by Japan and Germany. And I remember on my page, this is from the BRICS on X. I remember on my page, I posted this and I said, but the only problem with this is right now you have an alliance, and with these BRICS countries surrounding the United States right now, this is what I think is going on. This is one event that is going to happen. Is the economy going to crash? I don't have that answer for you. I'm giving you these events that are real and they're really happening. This is not a conspiracy theory podcast where I'm talking about Bigfoot and a sighting. This is real. This is reality, and it's happening before us. I have always believed that Donald Trump that he needed to stay out of all of this. Let's go back to the Q drops right now. Okay, so let me bring the Q back up on here. Hold on a second. Okay, and if you look at this, so we put, I forgot what the drop number is. All right, so here we go. All right, so I'll read it. It might be too small on your screen. I'm not sure, but I'll read it with you. All right, and we'll go through this real quick. You remember Donald Trump, one of his first stops was Saudi Arabia, correct? He's in 2017, and he had the sword dance. Huge moment in honor. And of course, all of us know that we believe that, we went there. We know he met with NATO, and we know he went to see the Pope. All right. And the Queen. All right. If you look at the pyramid, the triangle, most people think the triangle consists of the Vatican, the U.S., Washington, and England, the crown. Okay, that is like the back of your dollar bill, the all-seeing eye, that triangle. So we go here to this particular Q drop, which is 140 in the very beginning of 2017. It says wealth over generations buys power. Power over generations buys more wealth control. More wealth control buys countries and its people. Families combined, tri equals NWO. Inner tri families will collapse. What is the keystone? What nations dominate all others? What nations have influence over most others? What is the keystone? Return to Saudi Arabia. Strings cut, plus, as in a lot of people think that's puppets, plus in the shadow. Each side of the triangle controls a certain subsect of power brokers. So that's important right there. Each side of the triangle controls a certain subsect of power brokers. Again, like I said, a lot of people think it goes from the Vatican to the Crown to the White House. That's your triangle. What did POTUS receive a sword dance when visiting Saudi Arabia? What does this mean culturally? Why is this relevant? What occurred in Saudi Arabia? How did POTUS remove one side of the pyramid? What did POTUS receive while visiting China? Where did POTUS dine? What is the significance? Now the big one, which is in red. What if China, Russia, and others are coordinating with POTUS to eliminate the NWO? And I'm going to stop right there, all right? So, all right. So what if we posted this many times. You have Donald Trump right now, who is out of the not out of the limelight, but he's out of the decision-making process, per se, all right? This is why he cannot have been president of the United States in order to pull off a coordinated joint world operation with alliances. Is China and Russia? Well, we know China and Russia are working together. Heck, they're going to rule the world here if this keeps going this way. And it's going to be the end of America. But I'm here to tell you, and I'm very confident to tell you, that that will not happen. What you are seeing is, now if we go back to what I described, you're talking about a movie. It's not a movie per se. This is really happening in real life, in real time. You're witnessing the takeover of America, the destruction of America. But at the same time, there is a strong presence in force handcuffing NATO, the Biden administration, the current U.S. government. This is why you're seeing an alliance happening. Donald Trump cannot be involved. Well, it has to look like he's not involved in any of this. How convenient would it be that, heck, Donald Trump can even claim, I'm spending all my time in court. Heck, he might even get thrown in jail for us to see, for the world to see. All right. If that judge throws him in a cell, he's going to say, I was locked up in a cage. I had nothing to do with what was happening on the world stage when things go down. That's what we're getting at right now. We're getting to the point where when Donald Trump walks into office, the good things are going to happen. What has Donald Trump said this week alone? If you don't know, go to my page. I have it all there. He was asked directly, if we go back a little over a week ago, from Tim Pool and Timcast, are you going to arrest people and hold people accountable? Are indictments going to come? What did he say? His answer wasn't a direct yes. His answer was, we need to look into the statute of limitations. And he threw in, but, they're quite long and lengthy. What did Donald Trump just have in an interview this week? He was just asked, was it, I forgot, News Nation, Newsmax, something, whatever. Irregardless, the question again was directly about Hillary Clinton. He painted it to where he's like, man, I really hate to throw, a former first lady and lock her, we need to work together. And, I don't want to do that. But then he followed it up with, but I think it might have to be done. They're setting the stage. For all of you who have given up hope, who don't think arrests are going to happen, what you're seeing right now with Hunter Biden in the court, and I know the comments are there, and they're still going to continue those comments. Nothing will happen. Okay, these people are never held accountable. What you're witnessing right now is it being brought back into the limelight. Look at the timing. Look at everything that is happening this very moment. I'm talking about the entire big picture. You have Hunter Biden in court. You have Merrick Garland on the stand. You have Fauci on the stand. They're bringing it back into the public consciousness and the public eye. It's really unbelievable what is going on right now. Really unbelievable. And you're witnessing it right now. And what is going to happen, and I'm going to say this now because I realize that I put my reputation on the line. This is why I was never a guy to give you all those predictions in the past and stay onto it and say this is going to happen with dates and times and all that stuff. I never did that. I said, no, you have to go by events. It's events. And then once the election was taken, I knew it. I knew it that morning. I woke up. I'm like, they stole this son of a gun. And then I thought right away, it had to be this way. Okay. You and I don't mean any disrespect, but many people, okay, it's fair to say, got caught up into the Supreme Court. It's going to get overturned day after day, week after week, month after month. And then you got sucked in by all these other so-called BS truthers who kept teasing you and saying, oh, look at this, look at that. I never once stated that this election is going to get overturned. As a matter of fact, I kept shooting down all those claims. The messages that came into my private message asking me about the Brunson case in the Supreme Court, I told you directly in private message, it's not going to happen. No way on earth it's going to happen because people are not seeing the big picture. You wanted immediate results. You couldn't get immediate results. It had to be this way. Big people on the world stage had to see it. I bet some of those people right now who are all pro-Biden but have gotten to this particular point of June 2024, have seen what they have done to Donald Trump and so many other people and what is going on in the world stage. They might actually be going, maybe it was stolen. So am I freezing? People are saying I'm freezing. I hope I'm not. I don't know. I apologize if I am. Hopefully I'm okay. Correct. There we go. Bruce, you specifically told us it would not be overturned. Listen, this is not about me. Okay, this is not about saying, oh, good job. I'm the guy. I'm the dude. Absolutely not. This is about me telling you, look it. I have been right. I know what I'm talking about. And continue. I ask you and I implore you to stick with me. Maybe I'm blessed by God to have the discernment right now and to see things. Okay, everybody says no freezing. Thank you very much. But maybe I am blessed by God right now. I know there's something on me besides my background in broadcast and researching the news, but there's something bigger on me right now. And God is allowing me to see the big picture. And I see it so clearly right now. I don't have all the answers what's going to happen tomorrow, but I can tell you that it's going to be something's coming. Now, I just played the clip of you of the possibility of the beginning of a Black Swan event. Now, listen, if that happens, it's going to happen. So we're cutting out They're cutting out the US dollar everywhere. When Russia went into China, when Russia went into Ukraine, one of the first things they did is they blow up the pipeline and they put sanctions on Putin. All right. Look, they knew before they took one step back into Ukraine, and that wasn't the beginning of the war. When they took one step back into Ukraine, Putin knew. They knew from that get-go. They were absolutely prepared. Here comes the sanctions from NATO and Biden, and we're going to absolutely turn it on them, and it's going to backfire. It's backfired because of the global alliance that they did not see coming in the form of BRICS. And what is going on right now? Going back to that picture of the crown prince fist bumping Biden. That was symbolism. That is the biggest symbolism to this point since all this began that has always stuck in my mind. And I knew that is a defining moment right there because something massive is coming down the pipeline. All right. Donald Trump cannot take on Russia and China and BRICS alone. He can't do it. It's too big of a situation. What is Donald Trump going to do? Come into the White House, sell his soul back to NATO, who we all know that NATO is the true enemy, the military industrial complex? What's he going to do? Side with them? So then you're telling me that Donald Trump is going to be against what Russia's doing, what China's doing, and all of BRICS, and then not have the support of NATO? Well, he's a sitting duck. And there's nothing he can do. The man is not God. This is why what you're seeing on the world stage, what if China, Russia, and POTUS can work together to eliminate the New World Order? That's what you are seeing right now. We are still going to go through tough times ahead. The clock's almost out. You've already been told that arrests are coming. And I know there's still a group of you who are going to say, I'll believe it when I see it. I get it. Okay. I'm not one of those people because I already know it's coming. I have that discernment. You listen to what's being said every single day right now. It's a puzzle that is coming together beautifully, the most magnificent puzzle ever. And we just have missing pieces. We're still looking in the dark for missing pieces that we can't see. All right. I'm not going to be able to come on here and tell you what's going to happen. I believe something will happen in the form of this pact ending with Saudi Arabia that this current administration is going to need to make an excuse. How do I know what's going to happen? I don't know. But what I do know is that things like the price of gas can go up. That's one thing that's going to affect everybody, but it's bigger than that. We're talking about people selling their treasury bonds, people, the interest rates going up all of a sudden. We're talking inflation higher now. That's pretty much madness if that happens. So what's going to happen? A false flag event's going to happen, and they're going to blame Russia. Russia is the key right now to where they're going to blame them. They're going to use their Mockingbird media to come on television and tell you, oh, my goodness, a dirty bomb just went off in Ukraine. Putin just launched one. We have to move, which would give NATO the excuse to move in there, along with all the other alliances with Poland, etc., and move in there. Look, you just saw, who was it? Was it Turkey? I think it was, or Hungary. One of them. I gotta remember. I have to, never mind. Scratch that. But anyways, you're going to see that, and it's going to happen, and then we are going to get to that point of what I predicted. What happened today? Did you see that today? All right, let's go here. Let me grab this. If you haven't seen it, oh, I need to play this clip first. I'll just tell you. I won't even show it to you. All right. Guess what is happening in a few days? If you haven't seen it on my page, and Marco Rubio commented about it. Russia is moving warships and a nuclear submarine into Cuba, 90 miles off the coast of Florida. Who's the guy that told you that Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0 is coming? And that person, aka me, told you that about 3 years ago. I said the Cuban Missile Crisis is coming again. It's going to be 2.0 on steroids. And people are going to crap themselves because of the intensity that it's going to get. The rhetoric that's going to start picking up between NATO and Russia in the everyday news is going to just drive people to drink. It's going to be frightening. I know that. I'm prepared for that. But at the end of the day, I'm here to tell you, don't worry about it. I don't see it happen. Putin's coming onto the world stage, did it today, coming on the world stage. I have no intent to invade fire on NATO. I have no intent to hit the U.S. He's telling you, but he's also telling you in between, he's telling NATO, back off. He's telling the Biden administration, don't be firing missiles, U.S. weapons, in which they have. Biden was on with David Muir from ABC News this morning, and there was a clip I put on my page, and they asked him, are you firing missiles into NATO? He said, yes, but only so far within like a couple 100 miles. We're not going into Moscow. I'm sure Putin's just sitting there. Oh, okay, that's fine. So that's what's going on. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy what's happening. For those of you who are in the comments, a couple people are saying I'm freezing. I don't know what's going on. I apologize, but the majority of people are saying I'm okay. So you can watch the replay. It'll be fine. I know it'll be fine on Rumble. So, but then again, you are correct. You are witnessing. I called the show tonight, the Takeover America. The Takeover America is happening. You know it's happening. You don't need me to tell you that. All right. But the scare event is on the way. The scare event is already coming together in the form of the Saudi Arabia pact ending with the US dollar this Sunday, with what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, the alliances that are being formed. The heat is just turning up every single day. The temperature is boiling more and more and more. I've never witnessed anything like this before. I am extremely excited about this. Some people will say who don't understand, they're saying, how can you be excited about this? I had somebody on my Telegram yesterday, all right, just going off on the Telegram saying, why am I seeing all these emojis that are happy about Russia and China working together? I don't get it. You guys are, it's going to be the end of America. That's my point. You don't see the big picture. You need to see the big picture of what is truly going on. Whatever the Mockingbird media, mainstream media reports to you, you think the opposite. Okay? Who's good? Who's bad? People ask that question all the time to me. Who's good? Who's a good guy? Who's a bad guy? I've never answered that question. I think that people have decided to put aside certain things. Look, I know there are bad things in Russia, very bad. I know there are very bad things in China. But look, you need to come and sit down at some point, which they did, and make an agreement with one another. Look, okay, you have your ways. I don't agree with them. To Russia, to China, you have your ways. I don't agree with A, B, and C. And this is now could be the White Hats talking, and why they brought in Donald Trump to run for the presidency. And we have to come together. Do you want to stop this deep state, which you all know there is? Putin's very vocal about it, very vocal about the deep state and what's going on and what's happening here in America. The stage is absolutely set. So, reboot. Somebody had a reboot, they said. I'm sorry about the whole technical thing that's going on. I don't know what's happening over there, but I'm still running fine over on this end. And there are so many things going on. All those things that you wish for, the number one thing that people wish for is the accountability, the arrest, and the indictments. Fine, that's all good. Okay? And I can't wait for those things as well. All right? People like Sherry in the comments right now. Sherry says about Save the Children. Big part. I've been vocal about that. I do my part, and I'll always do my part when it comes to that. Okay? There are many things that still need to be exposed to the public, that these conspiracy theories that people label us as crazy. Okay? Right here in the comments, go back to your comments. Thomas says, all these leaders do not want a one world government. You're absolutely correct about that. Absolutely correct. Putin's talked about it. Heck, Putin has talked about the nuclear family and Christianity and God. And over here, we're flying LGBTQ flags and worrying about transitioning children. It's absolutely crazy. So for anybody to say that you are a Putin puppet or you're pro-Russia, doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Children are the huge reason. Yep. And there we go. Tony says, we've been waiting for so long for this nonsense. Hurry up and get it overnight already. It's so painful to watch people not get it. Yeah, it is. It's very painful to watch this. I get that. So at the end of the day, it is a takeover of America. We are seeing it. You don't need me to tell you that. We're going to see something in the form possibly of a Black Swan event. We are going to see something happen with Russia and Ukraine. I did not take the words out of Colonel McGregor's mouth. I've been saying this for a long time, okay? And I have not addressed the Saudi pact, okay? We've talked about the economy crash or Black Swan event, but not as specific as we are talking tonight because it's ending on June 9th, this Sunday. So let's go ahead and let me go over to this page right here. Let me grab it. Is this it right here? I think this is it. No, that's... How come I don't have? Okay. Give me 1 second. 1 second. I'll play this clip if you haven't seen it. Let me stop sharing that. All right. Apologize for the short delay. There we go. I got it. Okay. All right. So we'll play this clip of Douglas McGregor, Colonel, U.S. Army Colonel Douglas McGregor, who I post quite often. And this is what he said. I think this was a few months ago. I don't think it's recent, but it doesn't matter because it's perfectly relevant to what is happening, if not even more relevant. Let's play this.
I think we'll ever get to the 2024 election. I think things are going to implode in Washington before then. I think our economic financial condition is fragile. It's going to come home to roost in ugly ways. I will tell you, I don't know exactly how it will happen. I think we're going to end up in a situation where we find out the banks are closed for 2 or 3 weeks and nobody can get into them.
You think so?
I think we're going to run into something like that, yeah. I also think that the levels of violence and criminality in our cities is so high that it's going to spill over into other places in society. People that normally think they can live remote from the problem are now beginning to be touched by the problem. Then I look at this thing in Ukraine. I think Ukraine is going to lose catastrophically. It's going to be a complete collapse. And that, too, is going to have an effect here at home because people are going to say, well, wait a minute. Everybody told us Ukraine was winning. Everybody told us X, Y, and Z. I mean, it's sort of the Russian hoax on steroids. All of those things are going to come together or converge in some way that's going to prevent us from reaching, the status quo. Oh, another election. Oh, another set of campaigns and so forth.
Okay, so I am on the same page with retired Colonel Douglas McGregor. These are people that I'm absolutely in alignment with because it's like we're thinking exactly on the same line. Again, as far as sorry about that. As far as that goes, so with the takeover of America that's happening in real time right now, I just want to tell everybody that there's nothing to fear, but it's real. Okay, it is very real what we are witnessing on the world stage. Is there reason for concern? Of course. I would be a liar if I said no, because this particular fight is real. But if you go back to the Q drops, everyone has said that you and your families are safe. One thing that I have noticed about Donald Trump lately is his confidence. He's extremely confident, especially lately, talking about the date. Okay. He has mentioned the date. He has said January 20th, 2025, which is the day of the inauguration. He's extremely confident that he will be back in there. Sure, he can be a confident man, which he is. Many of us can be confident and believe those things. But I think it's a confidence that's the way he's talking and listening to his tone that he's telling us nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing can stop him from getting back into the White House. Whatever happens between now and then, he will be in there on January 20th, 2025. This is why the clock is ticking. You are witnessing, well, if you want to call it a movie, there's a side of it that things are, I'm not saying predetermined. I'm just saying there is a control going. There is a control. If there wasn't a certain control, white hats, if that's what you want to call them, if there wasn't a certain control, things would be way, way worse right now. And I can't even imagine. Okay. I don't even want to speculate, but they'd be way worse right now. But they're not. All right. We're feeling the effects of the economy and things like that. I get that, but I'm talking way worse. Heck, they had if they had their way, people like me would be shut down. All of us would be shut down. We wouldn't be broadcasting like this. So there we go. But then again, what does Steve say? Steve says, I still believe Space Force holds all of the evidence. They will be a big factor in proof to the American people. I am completely on board with that. I do believe that as well. I think Elon Musk, his everything that he's doing. Look at what just happened. Okay, they made an announcement how Starlink is going to be pretty much. I think he joined with T-Mobile already, but Starlink is going to be their carrier. Elon is just taking over with Starlink, and I think it's the backup. I truly believe it's the backup, the new internet, if you will, type of thing coming. That's a lot of speculation. I think that's for down the road, but I do think that there is a contingency plan in place if they go completely rogue and start shutting all of us down. I can see that there could be a contingency plan in place. I don't know exactly what it will be. I'm only speculating, but we will see. All right. The censorship's about to get worse. Yeah, we be living in a Mad Max world, and it can get that crazy. And I know a lot of people are talking about all the people who've come over to the border, and what is the UN doing? Is the UN aligning all these soldiers? That's why they're bringing people in over the border. Very well possible. I don't know. But if I go back to the Q drops, all I know is from the research I've done on there that the military will shut these people down. I have complete faith in our current military. I understand that many of you are saying, wait a minute, they've gone woke, they've gone rogue and mad. I don't buy it. I don't buy it one bit. I believe that I know there's some idiots on there and they get the limelight, and that's just to throw fear into you that we've lost our way and the military is not in control. I'm not buying it for a minute. I believe that our military is absolutely not what we projected to be, the fearful projection that many of us have put out there. There have been bad things made by the deep state, the people who call the shots and allowing things to happen. I get that. But at the end of the day, I don't think our sons and daughters are going to turn their back on American patriotism. A time is coming. Is it a civil war? No. So tell Joy Behar and those idiots on The View, a civil war is not coming. Is it in the form of a revolution? It can happen that way. But I think at the end of the day that, again, the military is the only way. White hats are in control. It is very scary what's going on right now. If I had to take out what's inside of me right now and allow you to feel it and for you to experience and give it to you, it is this. There will be no nuclear war. It will look like it. It will feel like it's about to happen. Okay. Will there be a black swan event? It will get tough, probably. Will there be a false flag? More than likely that will happen. Will some people die? Yes, they will, unfortunately. This is why it's not a movie. It's a real world life situation. But we've gotten to the point we have allowed the enemy to destroy themselves on the world stage. They have allowed them to do everything they've done. They have allowed them to arrest Donald Trump, to indict him, to convict him. They have allowed all these things. This is why some of the things when you see people in Congress, nothing ever gets done on the Hill. It's all, I agree. I'm there with you. But we're at a point now where something's going to give at one point, and we're going to realize, oh, man, the military really is in control. I wish I wouldn't worry so much. It's going to happen. So a scare event is absolutely in the works. We are in the midst of it right now. We are walking towards the precipice. But I promise you, when you get to that precipice and you're about to fall off the cliff, you're not going to. This should align with your faith, to those experiences that you've had in your life, to where you wanted to give up, but you kept digging in and you didn't give up, and breakthrough came. Breakthrough is coming in the same way with this. I absolutely believe it. It is the real takeover of America. It is happening before us. A scare event is in the works. We are seeing it every day unfold. I'm reporting it to you. I'm showing you the puzzle pieces. But at the end of the day, everything that you wanted, the Great Awakening, the accountability is coming, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Let's go to your comments before I close out. All right. I don't even know what that means. Do you all keep getting pictures pop up while watching Bruce? Bruce ain't doing that. Do I think Nassar is coming? I'm glad you asked that question, because I get asked that all the time. Here's what I think is coming, and I just was speaking about this behind closed doors the other day. Do I think a Nassar Jassar is coming in that form where everybody's going to get $1 million plus? No, absolutely not. People cannot be all rich at one time. We need people we need to make the world go round. But at the same time, I absolutely believe that everybody will get a small pot of gold. I don't mean physical gold. Maybe, I don't know. But I don't mean physical gold. That's just a metaphor. I do believe that people will get a small pot of gold. Every American has it coming to them. I don't know in what way they'll do that, but I believe Donald Trump will see fit that that does happen, because all of us have a payday coming. I also have a payday coming in the courts, because I want to get on a class action lawsuit against Facebook. That's for sure. They owe me. Thanks, Bruce. This made me feel better. Look, I have not steered you wrong. I have not, over my past years, have told any of you that A, B, and C were going to happen. I've told you I will never do a date. I will do events only. I never told you the election's going to get overturned. I never told you that Donald Trump is commander-in-chief. Okay, so right now, we're only 5 months away from the next presidential election. Doesn't look like the election's getting overturned. All right, all those predictions that people told you in the past, none of those came true. But here we are. We're seeing real events happen and unfolding right now. I'm not going to steer you wrong. There's a combination of my professionalism with journalism and reporting the news combined with my spiritual walk. And that combination makes me a strong voice out here, and the voice of reason. I don't believe in chaos. I don't believe in fear mongering. I believe in reality. And if there's spiritual events going to happen, I'm going to tell you. But I'm not going to fearmonger you. It's a good possibility. That's the thing. That's the future. That Nassar thing is going to happen down the line, because the bottom line, what Donald Trump does with BRICS, what Donald Trump does with China and Saudi Arabia and Russia, what they do on the world stage to come together to stop all this nonsense and start dealing with each other again. Will they use the dollar? Are we going to go back? I know there's a lot of surprises in the works right now. I don't know. None of us know. But if you look at those things, all those things are very possible. Again, this is not a Bigfoot show. These are real things that are happening in real life that are very possible to happen. But right now, we're still in the dark part. And we got to get through, and we got to get through the storm, and we got to see that rainbow when the rain stops and the sun comes out and the clouds part. Okay, we need to get there first, but in the meantime, we need to soldier up, pray, keep sharing information out there, share the truth. Don't worry, those people, those are sleepers. They'll come around at some point. I don't know when, but it's up to them. I don't think the EBS thing you need to worry about right now. I don't know why the EBS would go off if they put Trump in jail. I could see Trump going to jail. I really can. Them attempting to do it. All right. I think the only way the EBS is going off, in my opinion, is two ways. If civil war is about to erupt on American streets, or if there's a nuclear launch imminent. That's the only way. Any other scenario, it's not going to happen. We are not even in the climate of an EBS going off right now. Okay. Sure. For some of you, things look very bad, but the atmosphere and the climate is not ready for emergency broadcast system, but it will get there. It will get there. And I hope at the end of the day that EBS that goes off, I kind of hope it has to do with martial law, but not the martial law that you thinking the worst case scenario. I'm thinking the martial law of turning over the current government. All right. So let's see. Right. There you go. Prayer. Pray for Father's divine intervention in his will in Jesus' holy name. Amen. All right. So again, please catch up on my pages. Stay with me every day. I'll keep putting out everything that I possibly can with these events happening. And I implore all of you to look at all the stories that I post daily. I put humor and some silly nonsense in there because you need to laugh. But at the same time, go review my entire timeline for today. Look at what I posted about Russia, Ukraine, well, what I posted about BRICS, what I posted about whatever's going on in here on the Hill. And just say to yourself, look at all these things that are happening at one time. Something is going on, and it really is happening. So with that being said, I am about to I'm done. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Love you very much. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for those. Some donations came my way today. Thank you very much. I appreciate those. It helps me to keep the lights on and do what I do, because a lot of this stuff I need to pay for I have no idea about the freezing. That drives me mad. Somebody says it's freezing because I have a lot of expensive things going on here to make sure it doesn't freeze. I'll look into that. So I don't know if it was on somebody else's end or what, but right now I'm seeing it's not on my end. So I don't know what happened there. But then again, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you real soon. Take care.